With all these diverse genres in you, what inspires your way of music?
What really inspires me is just life.
Life.
It's just all based off feelings. Everything that I'm singing about and writing about is the truth, and it's things that I go through, things that we all go through. And so I think that's just what I want to communicate in my music, and I feel like soul music is the height of human expression. So that's how I rock with it.
Now, all the articles that they have about you, they say that you have this gospel undertone. So does that stream from a gospel background, a church background, or whatever?
Yeah, I've been to church before. It definitely does. I grew up in the church. My grandfather was actually a minister for many, many years in Mississippi, Columbus, Mississippi, and we used to spend our summers down there. So I was actually half raised by my grandparents, and so yeah, that gospel influence, and then my parents always made it a point to keep me in church. First time I sang, I was 8 years old. Lady named Hazel Hooks put a microphone in my head and said, "Go out there and sing." I said, "I can't sing," and then I opened up my mouth, and the rest was history. So.
How was that though, being 8 years old and having this, I guess, voice, and how did everybody take it?
It was crazy because like I had never experienced like that much attention or love at one time ever in my life. So I was a shy kid, very shy kid, but music is really the thing that helped me crack out of that shell.
Now you are a native of Memphis, right?
Yes, ma'am.
So my question for you also is, in what ways does your music or yourself give back to Memphis?
For me personally, it's just about spreading that message, spreading that love. I think in the city, you know, 'cause I know where I grew up at. I mean, it's a lot of crime, it's a lot of confusion, a lot of kids running through the street and not knowing what to do, not having anything to do. And so, through music, eventually, what my end game is to have it to where I'm established enough to give back to kids who are looking for something to do and looking for something positive to be involved with. Music is really what saved my life, and I tell people all the time, like, there was always opportunities for me to get into just about everything and anything. But music, knowing that I had that in my back pocket, kept me out of a lot of things, a lot of situations that could have been detrimental to my life. So, yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to use music to give back to Memphis and rebuild the city.
Now, how has the love and support been from your Memphis fan base?
It's been great, man. Like right now we're really like spreading the word and catching that vibe now, to where people are really starting to pay more attention to what we're doing as a solo act. Because I know there's people in Memphis that know me from gospel. There's people in Memphis that know me from, you know, singing in high school and when I was still doing stuff down there. But like when I get asked to do gigs now in Memphis, like people are asking me to do my original songs, you know. So that's something that makes me very proud is that, you know, my home team is behind me.
Yeah.
100%. So yeah.
I noticed that even though that you have all these different kind of genres, you stem from the gospel and they know you from the high school. I know that you still keep it true to your roots, right? You keep it true to what you believe and what you symbolize. Now, do you feel like yourself can be an influence to other people, other musicians, other men, whatever the case may be? Do you feel like you can be that leading influence for them, or a influence? You can put it in that words.
I don't necessarily know if I can speak to whether or not that would be true. I mean, that just it's up to those individuals. But I hope that something that I say will connect with them on a deeper spiritual level, more so than necessarily if it influences them to create. That would be my wish and my desire. But the biggest thing for me that helped me to start to create for myself was just having God inside me pushing me to do it. Like having that inkling inside me to say, okay, I can't go to sleep until I write this song. Like
That drive.
yeah, that drive. And so hopefully people will listen to my music and say, well, hey, if this guy can do it, you know, maybe I can give it a shot too.
Now we talked about before you came on the show how people say that you remind them of Korn, you know, Eddie Kendricks and David Ruffin.
Yeah.
How does that? How do you feel about being just in that category? I guess in a way, because that is really legendary right there.
Yeah, I mean it's an honor, man. I just for the most part laugh it off. I don't pick it up. I don't lay it down. It's like one of those things. Like if people say, I be like, thank you, and just keep it moving. Because I can't, in my mind, I can't start to believe that because
don't feel the hype.
Yeah, I can't.
Too much on the hype.
Nah, I can't get off on that hype and then start believing it and just stop paying attention to what it is I had to get done. And So I'm just hoping that I can build a legacy as great as those artists, and hopefully that's something that can really get started when people listen to this new album.
You know what? We're going to listeners. I will be telling you that JBuck's new album, especially his new song "Sweet Potato Pie," I can't even put it in words how it makes you feel because it's so deep. So we'll have that later on in the show. But before we have more of JBuck, I will go into a break real quick and be right back. All right, stay tuned. Lead singer of Murfreesboro's own Mocha Latte. In what ways does your experience there reflect your experience as a solo artist?
With Mocha, it really just gave me the itch to get back on stage and to even do it. Because I was at a point in my life where I was just like, okay, I'm pretty much done with music as far as performing and singing. I just wanted to write and produce for people. But when AC and Kim came to me with the idea of performing together and doing it as a group, I was like, hey, I'm with it. Just because of who it was, we used to have jam sessions all the time and things like that, and just singing and just we would go into. You never know what it could go into. It could be hymns, it could be '90s like R&B groups or whatever, and we would just jam together. And so from that, it got me on stage and it got me build my chops up because we performed so much and did so many different gigs. So now, when I go out on stage, it's like second nature because of the work that we put in during that time period.
Now, what is one of the most outrageous or insane, I guess, performances have you done or done as a group or a solo artist?
It's a pretty wild night.
Oh my goodness! Let's get real with JBuck real quick. What's going on?
No, I think probably the height of it all was the night that we did the album release for my EP, the JBuck Experience. That was just a very emotional night. And towards the end of it, I performed a song that I wrote for my grandfather. It's called "God Is Good," and I just broke down in tears, and and it was just crazy. I was half naked. My shirt was like my buttons just kept disappearing.
Now, So your grandfather, he kind of inspired you for "God Is Good."
Mm-hmm.
Was it the personal message to him? Was it in a way?
It really was just something he used to say to me. Because if you listen to the lyrics, it says, "Either way you look at it, just know that God is good." And in the verses, this is me going through, just testifying and confessing about all of the pain and the anguish that I was going through at that time after he passed, and then I could still hear his voice say to me, like whenever I would feel that way, either way you look at it, just know that God is good. And so I just put it in the song.
I think I told you before that you have became that artist in the household, and my mom, she could not get off of "God Is Good" to the point she wanted to play in the church. So
That's crazy.
So I feel like you really did in that song, but all your songs, you really put all your emotions into it, and a person can feel that pain to understand that you're coming from something that is a kind of a dark but very musical period of your time, right? Were you and him very close?
Very, very close. Like, he is the person that that I say, like, I mean, right next to my father, I love my father to death, but my grandfather was the person, okay, like, I want to be like this guy. You know what I'm saying? Like, when I would see how he would move in the community, like, as a principal, as, a community leader in the church, like, the man owned land in the 70s in Mississippi, which was, like, unheard of. A doctor, had a doctorate, and all this kind of stuff. So he was just somebody that just was a very positive role model for me and just a kindred spirit. One of my soulmates.
Well, that's actually incredible. Now, the people that inspired you in your music has been, of course, you said your mom, your grandfather. Like, do you feel like in your music and as yourself, you kind of embody them?
Yeah, I always say I have this thing, like, I take everybody on stage with me. Like, when I'm getting ready to go on or I'm getting ready to come here for this interview, like, anybody that's ever touched me in my life in any way and inspired me to create or inspired me to be a better person or a better artist, I take them with me. I don't forget anything.
That's good. Now, going to your first album, the JBuck Experience, which dropped October 2015, and it's available on iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, and Amazon Music.
Let 'em know. Let 'em know.
In the album, you discuss how you are blessed to find this certain love in your life. Yet in your new album, Love Matters, which drops in May, you discuss how you kind of run away from love in your search for it. So, in what ways do those two albums kind of connect? Or I hit you with that.
Yeah, you came with that. I like that question. But no, I think they're connected in the sense of with the JBuck experience, it was more so me just giving you different flavors of what I can do. That's why, like, there's no way you can say, okay, this is what it is specifically. Like, you got some dirty blues on there, you got some rock and roll tracks on there, you got some records that's kind of like got a Caribbean vibe to it, Afrobeat vibe to it, a gospel vibe, a real R&B vibe. Lyrically speaking, the connection is just going into, with this new album, just about how important love is. That's why it's called Love Matters, because I wanted to talk about the way that we fight against ourselves in our pursuit of it. Because we desire it so much and we want it so bad, but then even when the opportunity is placed in front of us, we run from it or we shy from it. You know, we live in a generation where we committed to not being committed. And so I want to talk a little bit about that. But it goes through all levels, agape, philia, and eros, the way we love God, the way we love each other, and the way we love the romance. And so I'm talking about a little bit of all of that on this new album. Yeah.
Now, I told you, I already warned you when I asked you this question.
Here we go. Here we go.
Here's the top question, all right?
All right, come through.
Everything of you about you is about love. The question for you is, now for all the women out there that's wondering about this JBuck experience,
What's up, man?
is there a special someone in your life?
No, I would.
See how I did that?
I mean, there are people that I'm fond of. You know what I'm saying? I love women. You know, it's just what it is. But am I in a relationship right now? No, I'm not. I'd like to be. I feel like I need to be. With this life
This
I
is
live,
like
so.
for real. If y'all can like go to the interviews of like some real good 70s blues kind of stuff, y'all can get the same answer where you have the bluesman, even like Johnny Taylor would say, I love women, you know, but I think I need to. So I really like that answer.
I'm not here looking.
So that's official answer. That's official one.
Yeah.
All right, guys. After our two new music of the week and one bluesfield song, you'll hear more from the talented JBuck on Deep Soul Radio. Stay tuned. All right, listeners. That was Sweet Potato Pie by the incredible JBuck.
Thank you.
I just thank you for like coming on my show,
We had to.
blessing my listeners with your music and just your interview and understanding you, because I feel like you are really what you bring out, you know. It's authentic. That's that real stuff. That's all we go for, is the realness.
Right on.
So I really appreciate that. Now, last question before we go. Do you have anything to say for any aspiring artists out there, any local artists?
If I could say anything, it would just be to just keep doing it, man. I think sometimes we get discouraged because of the money that we have to spend, or when you go to a show and there's 3 people in the crowd or 5 people in the crowd, or whatever the case may be. Just keep doing it and stay consistent, man, because that's what I'm trying to do. I'm trying to stay with it and stay consistent and just let it grow. I remember when my first show by myself, I knew how the audience, some people that were there were my friends, you know what I'm saying, the other people that were performing. So to go from that to go to now where, you know, I've performed in front of, you know, hundreds of thousands of people, so it's like,
Come on now.
I mean, you know, God is really in the blessed business, and I think sometimes people give up right before that blessing is about to come, so just stick with it.
Now, where may listeners be able to hear your music and watch your next performance?
You can check me out. You can always keep up with me on my website, www.jbuckmusic.com. iTunes, Spotify, Google Play, Audio Mac. I don't even know what Audio Mac is, but I'm on there. SoundCloud, all of that. You can catch me on all of that. My next performance will be in Memphis at the end of this month. You go to my website, check out the flyer for the details on that.
All right, guys, don't forget, JBuck's next album, Love Matters, will be released in May. And you can catch up with him on Facebook at JBuckMusic or even his site, JBuckMusic.com. Next week on Deep Star Radio, I have author entertainer Tiffany Wade here. That is all from Deep Star Radio, and always keep it soulful. You did.
Did I say go to?
It don't matter, it's fine.
No, you're
I'm
good.
not going to penalize
It was
you.
fine.
Okay. I was say, please don't.
You did. That was
All right, that's
an
a wrap.
awesome show. That was a wrap. Thank
Man.
you.
Yay!